So it looks like Neyo and Crystal Renay have finally finalized their divorce, and she's getting almost nearly $2 million, one of their homes, and money to buy a new car, along with spousal support and child support. Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Finally, we can talk about someone else other than Robin Dixon.
What have I done to you?
Just saying. But we have to talk about another cheater, pumpkin eater. As you know, it was over 6 months ago that we reported about Neyo and Crystal Renay breaking up. She literally took to social media to blast him after 8 years of being together and 3 children. And they had just recently renewed their vows during the pandemic. Well, let me just remind you, I had to literally go back to my own video to remind myself of how all this played out. And I know there's been little stories that have come out since then, including Neyo confirming a new baby. As you know, Crystal Renay took to social media, blasted Neyo, saying this, and she titled this, 8 years. She says, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous of women who sell their bodies to him unprotected, which made us all think, wait a minute, did she get an STD? Did he have a baby? Who knows? It could have been both. We don't know, allegedly. She continues, she says, every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. Sidebar, you remember when we were covering this story, allegedly, some of you were saying, multiple reports said they had saw Neyo. Neyo had literally put out an album around the same time of this whole situation. A lot of you thought it was an album rollout at this point. No, there's a whole baby. Well, you saw him at the Target trying to get attention because, you know, he has this new album out. He wanted people to notice him, and nobody did. All right, we'll continue.
Girl, this girl is delusional.
Look, my elephant brain is on fire today. Okay, is it the coffee? And y'all know, this is the only time I have coffee. I don't drink coffee, y'all. All right, back to this. So to ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something that it isn't. I choose me. I choose my happiness and health and my respect. I gained 3 beautiful children out of this and nothing else but wasted years and heartache. I ask that you all please stop sending me videos or information of him cheating because what he does is no longer my concern. I am not a victim. I'm choosing to stand tall with my head held high. If someone can't love you the way that you deserve, then it's up to you to love yourself. With no hate in my heart, I wish him nothing but the best. And a lot of you alluded that maybe possibly she had known he had been cheating over the years, and maybe that's part of the reason why they had broken up at one point that we know of. And she was able to look past it until he actually impregnated someone. She literally says this in court documents that she accused him of impregnating a paramour. Can you say that in court documents? Apparently you can say whatever you want. Well, now, finally, on this Thursday morning, they finalized the divorce. So let's get into what she's going to get out of this. And I have to say, I don't know how much Neyo is worth. Let's look it up. And I will preface this by saying what you see online is not necessarily what people are actually worth, but just so we have an idea of what the internet streets are saying, okay? $9 million, which says to me probably not even close to that. All right? And mind you, he's paying child support for the 2 other children that he shares with Monyetta Shaw, you know, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Hollywood Exes and things like that. So they're saying like $9 million. And we have to remember, he's written songs for people like Beyonce, Rihanna, and so many others. So those residuals are coming in. But like Fantasia said not too long ago in an interview, all these people out here that you think are rich and famous and living those lives really aren't. And the pandemic showed you that, because a lot of these artists that you know and love were strapped for cash because they weren't able to tour anymore. But that's a larger conversation we can have about the music industry and these record companies. But also how people and their money management and money education isn't there. We're going to talk about money education in 2023, but we'll do it on my podcast. My podcast is free. I'm not doing a Robin. Okay. Just saying. So let's get into the details of what Crystal will get out of this divorce. So they're reporting that she will get nearly $2 million after it's all said and done, including child support and spousal support. So Page Six writes this: because of you, Crooner will pay his now ex-wife, Crystal Renay, a $1.6 million lump sum to balance out their real estate holdings and $20,000 for moving costs, according to TMZ, which was who obtained the settlement details, which normally we do not get those details, which part of me thinks that someone gave it to them. Probably Neil's people, allegedly. Renay will also keep one of their 4 homes in Georgia. Why you have 4 homes in Georgia? I mean, real estate's good business. Don't get me wrong when we're talking about financial literacy, but just all in Georgia? Okay. Additionally, Neyo agreed to cut a $150,000 check to Renay so that she can buy a new car, as he's keeping their 2022 Bentley Balenciaga. They continue, they say, the So Sick singer, who's 43, also will pay Renay, who's 36. Oh, wow. All right. $12,000 a month in child support for their 3 children they share. Here's the thing, guys, before we continue. When I reported on all these different celebrities and their settlements and things like that, the $12,000, if it was one child, I would have been like, okay. But they had 3 children together. So that's what? $4,000 per child? And I know what some of you are thinking. That is more than enough for a child. But when I think about some of these other people, and look, everyone has different money, okay? When I think about what Tristan Thompson is making and how much he's reportedly paying Chloe and his other baby mama versus what he's ending up to pay Marley Nichols. These courts and how they figured out these details is so interesting because every state is different. Every calculation system is different. I just think like $12,000 a month for a child. Okay. You guys will let me know in the comment section. You're like, that's more than enough. Okay. All right. Just the initial thought. I was like, is that enough? So he'll end up paying $12,000 a month in child support. But remember, the courts receive what a person actually makes. All right. They have to give the financials to the court. So this is quite telling. All right. So he'll pay $12,000 a month in child support for the 3 children that they share. He will foot any education-related expenses. They agreed to joint custody of the kids. Finally, Neyo will give Renay $5,000 per month in alimony for the next 3 years. All right. So he will have to pay indefinitely. You know, sometimes it's like that. Until she remarries, he would have to pay indefinitely. In some situations, but they probably all negotiated all of this out. Renay filed for divorce, as you know, back in August of 2022 after she publicly accused him of cheating on her. Page Six says, within the divorce filing, however, Renay alleged that Neyo, whose real name is Schaefer Shamir Smith, had fathered a child with another woman whom she described as his, quote, paramour. She and the Grammy winner initially tied the knot, as you know, back in February of 2016. The on-again, off-again couple divorced 2 years later before marrying again April 2022. I don't know if they officially divorced back then. I think they were talking about breaking up. See how these news outlets think they know our news, but they don't really know our news. They didn't divorce. They had broken up, but they had ended up renewing their vows. So there was no official divorce back then, according to what I can remember. You guys will remind me in the chat. So the pair have 3 children together, as you know. They have Schaefer Jr., who's 6, Roman, who's 4. She's got young ones. Isabella, who's 1. Neyo also has children with Manetta Shaw, Madeline, who's 12, and Mason, who's 11, from his previous relationship. And he has this other baby that he took to social media about. So he has a lot of kids. He's got a lot of children. He has 6 kids now that we know of. But he's not hurting. Apparently, you know, when we were covering this story, Neyo has a cipher of women now. And there's been all kinds of allegations about what's going on there. I don't want to know. Look, I don't want to know, Neyo. The same way I don't want to hear that music anymore. He can write a good song, though. What is he writing for people anymore? I don't know. I know I'm not listening to that music. I could leave that in the iPod and skip.
The music ain't that great. I listen to it on the iPod.
Guys, are you happy for Neyo? Do you think that this was enough? Do you think that Crystal Renay is actually happy with the final agreement of this divorce, or she's just happy to be rid of him? But she's not really rid of him because they have kids together, 3 children together. So they're going to have to figure out how to co-parent. Apparently, Neyo and Monyetta have figured that out. I'm interested to see on The Real Housewives of Atlanta if she will talk more about it. Because remember, the word on the street that she might be getting a peach this season. So I would be interested to see what that relationship is like. And do we get to see Neyo? I remember hearing that rumor that he was willing to film. Of course he is. He's trying to get that music money up.
Period. Dot.
Okay, Neyo. Guys, let's continue this conversation in the comments section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.